Hello, this is Right Side Trader. Today is July 31st, 2026, and this is my weekly market review. We're reviewing the Russell 2000, that's IWM, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation, because as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right, let's jump over here to these charts and see what we see. Let's maximize this quarterly chart. And what do we see here? We still see red on the Russell. This month finished red on the Russell. The Russell is kind of surprising me, being a little bit weaker than some of the other indexes and all. But it hasn't moved that much. It's still within my $10 range. If you ever heard me say that before, that's where the Russell is to hang out at, in a $10 range, wherever that range may be, But that's what I see here. Again, we are still above the 910. We are not above the 910 moving average. We're above a yearly resistance one. We're still not too far. We're still within $10 of that top. So again, the Russell is still okay based on what I'm seeing here on this quarterly chart Let's go ahead and go down to our monthly chart and see what we see there. On this monthly chart, let me zoom in here right like this. This monthly chart is kind of scary now. The thing is, we completed the month, and with this month completed, what I'll see up here is a bearish Harami at this time. Again, bearish Harami, you would be looking for a confirmation to see if this thing is actually really turning bearish, or is this just a rest month? That's one of the things they talk about at Right Side Trading. The market tends to take rests every now and then, in an uptrend. So that's what you can kind of okay with that first red month, but you don't want to see multiple red months like what we saw back here and all. So we gotta kind of like wait and see, will we get that confirmation candle or not? The other thing that we are seeing here, we are still above our 910 moving average, so technically we are still in a bull market. On these quarterly pivots, we are still above our quarterly central pivot. So again, still looking good and all. And how far off are we? We're quite a ways off from our quarter resistance one. And last quarter, we went all the way to a resistance 3. You very, very, very seldom see that. That lets you know that market was really pretty strong that first quarter. So yes, it could be just taking a rest at this time, and this market still has room to go. Again, some people like taking profits. Some people like loading up even more, and they want to load up best they can at a place before this thing actually really takes off. So again, always be careful, be careful, be careful. Pay attention to your trading plans and your trading strategies and trade accordingly. All right, let's go ahead and go down to our weekly chart and see what we see there. On this weekly chart, let me zoom on in here. On this weekly chart, the big thing that we have been seeing here on the Russell is this thing has been kind of like a slow boil in this little downward trend, not dropping really that fast where you can get a big bang for your buck, on shorting this thing. But it has been dropping, and it's been in this downward channel, making these lower highs, and at times making these lower lows. Back here, it didn't quite make a lower low, but it's been making these lower lows, and you can see the channel. That's the whole thing. This is one where it didn't quite work out the way I kind of like seeing things and all. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit more right here. We started out the month above pivot back here and all. These are monthly pivots on this weekly chart. So I kind of expected the market to push back up, but the Russell wasn't that strong in pushing back up here at the end of the month like some of the other indexes. So it ended up closing below pivot, and come next month, look like we might be opening below pivot. So be careful, be careful, be careful when it comes trading the Russell and all, and getting long. Make sure you wait for your confirmation, or based on your trading plan, just trade accordingly. Because this thing did give us a warning back here that the bears were in town. Nice. Again, you see this now, but again, learn to see this when it's happening. We had the bearish Harami. We had the selling pressure back here on this candle, and this thing did follow through. Again, based on your trading plan and your trading strategy, things could have been okay. Again, you were able to get out of this stuff if you were long on the Russell at the time and kept your losses small, because the Russell doesn't usually move that much too fast and that's it. That's pretty much it. Just like pointing this stuff out. where you kind of learn to see this stuff that's happening on the chart. And that's why, some of us, we like, the price doesn't lie. It's a lot of other stuff that could be going on in the world, a lot of other stuff going on in the news, but what you see on here on the chart is the truth. Nothing's false about this, and this thing has been slipping. And the question is, when will it turn back around? We don't know, but we will see it here on this chart when it happens. All right, let's go ahead and go down to our daily noise and wrap this on up. Daily noise. We'll zoom in here, and you can see how choppy this is, even in this downward thing. We had a mixture. We had this downward channel, the whole big channel thing. We had some scary things where we thought maybe it had dropped out of the channel, it was going to really drop, and it turned back around and came back up and stayed in this whole channel. And that's why today, even with the gap up to here, it ended up coming back down into this channel. So this created some great trading for some traders who like trading, who have some channel trading strategies and all. And that's the whole thing. You got to get where you see the market, and you just trade what you see. I'm gonna zoom in here a little bit on these last few days so we can see some of this craziness that's been going on, and what could have faked you out. Again, this big green candle, you thought maybe it was taking off. That was like a Tuesday, and then the next day after it gave you this sign here, a bullish harami, not a bullish harami, a bearish harami, and it did follow through, and it hasn't broken that top since. Again, in these tight markets, there are better strategies than trying to trade direction. Direction can work if you have great tools to call directions, and you have the nerves and the discipline to get in these trades at the right time. That's the whole thing. You got to learn. You got to have the tools, have the discipline, and have the confidence to be able to be in a trade if it's going right for you, and be out of a trade if it's not going right for you. And you got to learn to trade based on what you're seeing in the market. Very, 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 very tough. Because again, with the way this market has been whipsawing around, it makes it very difficult for some traders to actually trade and all. Because again, we're seeing mixed signals in the market at this time. Because like I say, bearish signal, it did go down for a little bit and came back up. Bullish signal, didn't go up at all. Totally faked you out and went back down to the downside. Right now, it's kind of what's going on here. The only thing that I can see here come up next week, we will be opening below pivot. We did come to the top of this little channel that it's in, and it might be just heading back down. This is a very bullish tail on this candle here today, but it didn't end up being a doji. It didn't, get above these previous days' highs and stuff. So again, I think this market is still kind of weak. So be careful, be careful, be careful. And that's all I really want to share at this time. This is Right Side Trader. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys have a great weekend. And I'll talk to you next week. Have a good one. Bye. Thank you, new subscribers and all. I saw a couple cousins might have joined me that probably didn't know I was doing this, and a couple local guys joined me that I thought was already following me. But that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.